just the adjustments in a game too. What's been usually, over the years for you? What's been the when you come out for a loss?
Yeah, just play harder. Just play harder with more intensity. Just play with more focus. Usually that's how I go.
Curious, you talked about just being poised. When you're on being the road team. How did you feel like you guys handled that part?
Yeah, I think they hit us with a little flurry there in the third where they was making a lot of shots. But I think to start the third quarter, if you go back and watch, we was down 10, 11, maybe 15 going into the end of the first half, and we was able to cut that lead into 4. And we had some good momentum playing hard on both ends of the floor, and then they made some shots, and we fouled, and we couldn't rebound. So I think it's a 6 minute, 7 minute stretch where we just everything unfolded for us, everything went their way on the other end, and that's usually how it goes in the playoffs. A couple minutes can turn the whole series, and they turned it in that third quarter.
Look, if you guys went small, and obviously that would lead you to having to guard Gobert, and that physical matchup when they stay big and you guys go small. What do you feel like are keys to sustaining what you guys need to do?
Yeah, just playing a little faster, just box out a little bit more. I mean, they're taller than us too, so sometimes when you physical as you can, a guy can just reach over top of you and grab the ball sometimes, or just be bigger than you. So add a little bit more physicality to it. Maybe do our work a little bit earlier now since we're a smaller team. When we go small and they're playing against taller guys, we playing against taller guys. So maybe do our work earlier before the ball gets up, hit guys. Just be a little bit more physical earlier, and then try to get out and get some transition baskets.
Containing Hampton in the first half. What do you feel kind of got away in that third quarter?
Yeah, he just got it going, making mid-range shots, some over contests, and then once you see those go in, you start bombing threes, and confidence is through the roof. He's a dynamic player that can get loose at any time, so we got to do it as a group.
What makes Jaden McDaniels so good as a perimeter defender?
His athleticism and his length he can make up for a lot of. If he gets beat, he can make up for it because his quickness and his length.
Is the crowd a factor here, or are you so used to playoff stuff that this is no different than any other playoff atmosphere?
Yeah, crowd's always a factor. I don't think it disrupts us or throws guys off their game. It definitely ignites their team as well. But we've been playing tough crowds our whole lives, so I don't think that's too much of it.
Kevin, when Eric Gordon's a veteran, he's been through a lot. Do you say anything to him when he's been struggling a little bit, or you just kind of let him do his thing?
No, I just try to put him in better positions when he's out on the floor. Keep trusting, and he got confidence in his game, and we want everybody to be confident when they go out there.
Any positives from the game on Saturday that you'd like to perhaps capitalize upon or grow in the second game, or what are your thoughts on that?
Just play harder, and we have built our identity up throughout the whole season, so stick to that, but do it just better, to be honest.
Kevin, how important is it just to come out to a fast start just at the beginning, especially on the road with this crazy crowd?
Yeah, I mean, we want to, we want to come out there and hit first and try to set the tone. And it's a game of runs in the NBA, so when they counter punch and hit us back, we just got to be poised and fight through it and get through it, especially on the road. They get some energy, hit a few shots on the road that can ignite you. So, it's a fight that you just got to, put your guards up and then make some counter punches as well. It's just a back and forth, and you just got to be ready for it.
How nice is it to silence the crowd when it does happen, though?
It's just way. I don't even worry about the crowd, to be honest. We know they're a factor. We know they're going to be enthused, but we're not playing against them. We're playing against the other team. We're playing against trying to be a better version of ourselves. So, if we do something well, just go back to the huddle and see how we can move on and get better from there and keep building.
When teams are top blocking you guys, how much does it help to have Nurks passing in those situations for the backdoors?
It's just always good that we can have a pressure release when guys want to overplay. We get a lot of those this year. And Nurk, Drew, our bigs do a good job of recognizing it.
There's always those overreactions after a game one. As a veteran team, how important is it to just kind of, from fans, media, all those people, how important is it to block out the noises of that?
Sometimes it's about going out there and doing your job. It's hard to block out noise nowadays. You see it everywhere, so you just got to play through it and fight through it and understand that's just the nature of our game now. You're going to hear shit all the time, every day. Even when you're watching, everybody watched games last night. Talked about the whole league throughout every game, so it's stuff that we just got to live in and live through and just play our game. And I think everybody here understands that.
Okay, one thing you mentioned after this game was missing some bunnies, missing some lays, and missing some open threes. How important is it to take advantage of those looks when in a series?
I feel like I missed like 3 or 4 easy shots that would have got us in momentum. I feel like I drove to the rim a couple times and missed some lays and then missed a couple pull-ups. And those shots are huge for our team because they need me to knock those down at those times. So, yeah, just being more focused when the ball's in my hands and having more fundamentals when the ball goes up and expecting to make every shot I take, you know. So just got to be better next game when it comes to the shot making. And also just playing with more force.
After games, do you go back and look at those shots that you think you could have made? I mean, do you see what you were doing?
Yeah, definitely. You try to analyze the game and see how you can incorporate that into the next game and see what you can take away. You know, it's just about adjusting. So most of the time, it's just about fundamentals. You know, if you keep the same fundamentals, I'll be solid.
Is it angles you're looking at the most, or is it fundamentals, like you said?
Fundamentals. Is about a bunch of stuff. Just really just trying not to think too much of just getting to your spots and playing the game. And whatever the game displays to you, just go out there and try to adjust and take what the game gives us.
Even at your stage, though, do you have mechanical adjustments that you're making on the fly all the time?
Not really. Try to stick to the same script, but just know that you may have to sometimes, you know, so being open-minded to that, you know, and relying on the teammates and just letting the game play out how it plays out and seeing how I can fit inside of it.
You make adjustments, you watch the film, and you play better.
When you look at just not just this last game, but throughout the regular season, it's been
He's been physical. He's a good defender. He has a lot of length. And he's physical, and they play hard together, so they have a good defensive team.
You said after the last game, that they just take tough shots, not necessarily double. How much is that just man up?
I think it takes a collective group. Special players take more than just who's guarding them to defend them. It takes a team behind them and building a shell behind them to where, it gives you confidence to be able to pressure the ball when you have a defense behind you. Yeah, I think that comes with the double teams. I think double teams put you in rotation, but, if you have somebody that, can be physical on the ball and force the shots inside the paint instead of, rhythm jump shots, and then once he had it going, he had it going.
A couple times, how did you like the way you executed on that?
I think we just had to be aware of it quicker. We've done good with zone defense throughout the whole year, so, I'm not too worried about that. But, just another adjustment they made to junk up the game a bit.
When you watch back a game like that, it's angles and spacing you're looking at the most, right?
You watch it all. We had 2 days to watch it, so, we broke it down defensively one day and offensively, more offense today. So, we're going to make our adjustments too.
For you individually, what did you see without giving away too much from the night that you had?
We had it going. I think, the game got lost in the last 5-6 minutes of the third quarter where things domino effect. But, if I'm not making shots and my teammates are, I'm not opposed to that either. Games don't go as noticed as that if we win the game and I have a 5 for 15 or 5 for 16. So, it's not my opportunity. It's not my job out there to just make sure I have an efficient, great night. I'm trying to do everything on the floor to win the game.
As a veteran team, how important is it to just remember that this is a 7-game series?
I can think back to the same situation last year. I'm not saying we're going to win the next 4 games, but there was a lot of overreacting after we lost Game 1 to the Clippers, and it's just a series. So understanding that, understanding every road team had a tough time in the playoffs. I'm at game 1 of the playoffs so far this year, and we'll see how game 2 goes.
Look, is it you've been in this position before? Is this the part you kind of relish the most? The ability to kind of counter and chess versus checkers, so to speak.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of the playoffs. I think that's why everybody loves it. You see the same team over and over. It's adjustments versus adjustments, but at the end of the day, you just have to go out there and play. It's a roller coaster of emotions for everybody, the fans of each team. I always say you win one game, you're going to sweep the team, and you lose one game, you're going to get swept. That's how everybody feels. So, that's the beauty of our sport. That's why we all love this time of year.
When you have a game that's below, I'm sure, your expectations of yourself, how much hungry are you to come back out game 2 to play to the level where you believe you should be playing?
Yeah, I'm hungry to win the game. That's all we're trying to do at this point of the season.
Devin, when you look at just that third quarter, the guys got it down to 4, and I think just a couple of missed shots there, and you look up when you're down 20. They hit like 3 threes in the last minute.
Yeah.
How important is it to avoid those kind of small minute, 2-minute stretches where the game can turn one way or another?
They happen. They happen for every team. It's a game of runs. I think how you respond, during adversity, especially on the road, makes or breaks teams. So, we have a lot of experience on this team, and we've seen a lot of situations. So, I'd say advantage us in that category.
When you look at just the physicality part, I know that you're trying to play physical, but then you're getting called for fouls. How are you trying to find a playoff balance where they say that more is allowed, but you're getting foul trouble in that situation?
Yeah, that's a tough balance where I'm trying to find too. Where guys are being physical with me, and the moment I'm physical with them, I'm in foul trouble and on the bench. I look back at my second and third one, the pass underneath that Mike tried to make that I stole cleanly, and then the trap on Carl, which was initially called on Brad and then changed to me. But it's a physical game, so it's trying to find what they're going to call and what they're not when guys are being physical with you, and you try to return that.
Any positives that you noticed from game 1 that you hope to roll into game 2, even though despite it being a loss?
Not a lot. I said I like how we played up until the end of the third, and once they had their rhythm and their flow, everybody was making shots. So, just keep playing hard. That's where you want to be. Going into the fourth quarter, close game on the road, and then execute from there. So, like I said, we're gonna make our adjustments.
They're a rare team because of their bigs. What's the best ways to make them feel too big in a given game?
I'd say just pace of play. They do a good job of pre-switching and trying to keep their bigs low and closer to the rim, and let their wing defenders and Jaden play out on the perimeter.
They're a naturally bigger team, but what needs to change on that front?
Yes, just be aware. They're crashing. They're sending a lot of guys to the paint. They're trying to enforce, how big of a team they are. So, it's just going to be a physical fight from the beginning.